there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Books channel. My name's Matt, and today we're going to review Human Target number 1. And before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. All right, so we see the first issue here. This is the cover. It is by Tom King and Greg Smallwood. Now, you might be saying, hey, Matt, you don't usually review mainstream books like this, but this character, the Human Target, I really enjoy this character from back in the day. He hasn't had a lot of play recently, so I figured I'd kind of give him a little love, spread the word about this book. Now, I haven't read much of Tom King, so I can't really say whether it's got promise or not. He is one of the bigger writers, but I've heard mixed reviews on his stuff. So I will say, though, the art is great by Greg Smallwood. So, and that's one of the things that really caught my eye on this book. The cover looks fantastic. And like I said, this is a DC Black Label book, and this is the first issue. All right, so we start off here in a hotel room with Christopher Chance, or the Human Target, and he is not looking too good. He's coughing. He's talking about how he doesn't have a lot of time. But I mean, he's coughing so much he has to sit down, and he can barely like walk and stuff. So as he sits down on the bed to kind of stop his coughing and everything, I guess he realizes he's about to die. So he writes a note that says, "I love you too," and then lays down on the bed, and it says day 12. So I guess he dies, and it's day 12. One thing I like is we go back in time, and he does each of these panels. We got day 11, he gets slapped. Day 10, he's in a fight. Day 9, he's like, I die in prison, I die in a hotel room, who cares? I got that guy who killed me. So like, we're getting like all these little bits of his, how he got to this point. And then we get to day 1, where we start off with a cup of coffee, and he drinks that coffee. But what you don't realize is that he is actually Lex Luthor in this scene. This is his whole gimmick. So as the Human Target, he will take the place of a high-profile person, and he then is the Human Target for if that person gets assassinated, kind of thing. So he's on this day taking the place of Lex Luthor for like a Steve Jobs kind of speech he's supposed to give. And someone is either trying to poison Chance or Lex Luthor. We're not 100% sure. But basically, he drinks this coffee, and he's like, ugh, there's a weird taste to that coffee. Tastes old. But whatever, what are you going to do? Last night was a crazy night, and even old coffee's good. So Lex Luthor goes to give his speech, and halfway through it, he gets shot. So everybody's freaking out. And then this guy on stage comes out, the guy who shot him. He comes out from the side of the stage and gets on the stage, and he's got a bomb. He says he's going to blow everybody up. He's like, your beast is dead. I killed him, and this is for poisoning everything in America, and everything that makes liberty great and everything. So he's kind of like he thinks he's like a freedom fighter kind of guy. And then before he knows it, Lex Luthor stands back up. He's like, what? And he gets punched in the face, gets knocked out. So we start the next day, I'm assuming that he's in the office with Lex Luthor. They're just talking about, like, who would want to kill me? Do you want me to find that too, or whatever? And Lex is like, I have people for that. And in the middle of this conversation, he kind of has a complete like coughing fit, and he says, I'm fine. There was something in the coffee. So this is where he realizes the coffee was actually poison, because that tin taste that he had earlier never goes away, and it's kind of spreading. So he leaves Lex's office, and he goes to find someone for help, and that someone is Our Man. So Our Man is kind of helping him figure out what's going on, what the poison is. Our Man says he's got 12 days to live. So now he's on a mission. He tells him, don't call Batman. I want to figure this out myself. I'm going to figure out, who killed me, see if I can figure out maybe an antidote while we're at it. But if I can't, then I got 12 days to live. He goes back to talk to Luthor because he thinks, well, maybe I'll start there. Who would want to kill him? And then Luthor's basically like, everybody wants to kill me. So, I'll give you everybody's name, but that's a lot of people. So he goes back to his motel room, and he's just kind of like trying to think about, who did it. The phone rings, and it's Dr. Midnight again, who's telling him, I found something out. The person who poisoned you has something interesting, like a marker on them. Is some special radiation that only a certain amount of people have, a specific group of people. And that's basically, we have narrowed our subjects down to this group of people who fought in the Ring-Brack dimension. So they have this radiation from the Ring-Brack dimension on them. And I'm not going to spoil who that is. You might know who it is if you read a bunch of DC history. But yeah, I'm gonna stop it right here because I don't want to spoil exactly who it is. And this issue is just him, like the introduction of him as a character, and then him getting poisoned. Now having to figure out who did it, and we know he's gonna die in 12 days. At least he thinks he's gonna die because we saw that he was in the motel, laying down as he thought he was dying. I really liked this issue. I thought it was a lot of fun. There wasn't a lot of action in it necessarily, but there was enough like mystery and kind of the introduction of the character that I liked. It moved along fast. Also, the art is fantastic. This kind of art for this series is perfect. It's got that like 60s noir vibe to it. So it really fit just the character of Christopher Chance and the human target and what's going on in this. So we'll see how the series goes, but for sure I'm going to continue this. I'll give this first issue a 4.5 out of 5 because like the writing was really strong as far as how things were set up, and like the mystery is being set up really well. And then also just the art is fantastic, and like the panel layouts, that cool creative thing with the counting back the days in the panels. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff like that was interesting. The same as like when he gets shot, it's just like a big panel that says bang, and there's like, you can see Lex Luthor in the bangs getting shot. So there's stuff like that I liked a lot. It's very stylized. So definitely check this one out if you get a chance, and we'll see you guys on the next one.